Hey everyone, welcome to Pharo Markets. This is some free platform training. This is Jevon speaking. And the reason for this video is because we decided to make this because we've realized that a lot of people trade on their phones and they would like to use their PCs, but when they open the MetaTrader, they get very confused because I understand if you open it and it looks like this, it looks very
and guide you through it so you can use it on your own and customize it according to your liking so it can be more convenient for you to use it. So first things first, when it looks like this, you will see that each of these are a different window. So you would see that if I click on this window, on the first window, which is GBP USD, if I scroll on it, you would see that only the one chart moves, right? And you would see that if I click on NZD USD, only NZD would move. So as you can see that whatever window you give attention to, only that will move basically. But obviously you don't want to be looking at charts like this unless you're monitoring different pairs at once. But that's obviously more advanced things, and you will get to that as time goes on. Now, the first thing you want to do in order to simplify things, you want to click on one of these windows, and you would see that as any other app on your PC, there's there's an option here to maximize your screen. If you click on maximize, you would see your entire screen open. Now, obviously, it obviously minimizes a lot of the noise, and now you can only focus on one thing. But if you are only looking at it like this, I mean, the grid is confusing. The colors, it's all green. It looks, in my opinion, if you trade like this, it's ugly. If you're the only way to simplify your own trading is to make your charts appealing to yourself. That's why also you would also see, after I do my analysis, after I've traded for like a week or whatever the case, I would do what they call chart hygiene and clean everything. So what you want to do is you want to right click, and you would see there's a lot of options that pop. You don't have to focus on that now. There's a lot of advanced things. Now over here, you would see that there is time frames. Now we will get to that in a second. Templates, we will get to that in a minute. Now the first thing you want to do is you want to come all the way down to properties, and as you can see, there's also shortcuts you can use, which is F8 to open your properties. Now in the beginning of this whole walkthrough, I'm going to show you how to create a template. A template meaning a chart that you can use on any pair according to your liking, and then we'll move forward and see what and move on to the more advanced things. So first things first, you want to decide on the background. Do you want a black background? Do you want a black background, or do you want a white background? Those are the most common ones nowadays. So for instance, I like white, because white seems so pure. So I would make it white. Now foreground is the numbers you see on the right side and the times and dates, meaning the axis. Now you would obviously want to make this black, right? So as you can see, it would show you over here how your chart would look. Now your grid you would see is gray. You would want to make your grid the same color as your background in order for it to look clean. Okay, then you want to decide on the color of your candles. Now bar up, meaning for candles going up, and bar down, candles going down, which is quite obvious. Now for instance, I like a nice little blue candle for an up candle and a black candle for a down candle. Now a bull candle in trading is also an up candle, and a bear candle is also a down is a down candle. So bar that, so bull candle I'll also make blue, maybe it's a slightly a different blue, and then bear color I would make black as well. And then stop levels, maybe I would just make them green. And line graph, since you have a white background, you want to make it black, maybe your line chart. Okay, so then click OK, and that's how your charts should look. So okay, I want, okay, let me just change this because Still gonna seem a bit confusing because I see I made a lot of blue. Bar down, black. There we go. Much better. Now, obviously, you would see if I zoom in on this, it looks a bit different, but I'll show you how to fix that. But like I said, once you have done this, you will see that there is a toolbar here on top, right? First of all, I want you to just navigate to the point where you see the magnifying glass where it says zoom in and zoom out. And then on the left side, you would see line charts, candlestick charts, and bar charts. So I want you to click on candlestick charts. Then it would look like this, okay? Because we usually use candlesticks and line charts, but line charts is a whole different story. Anyway, so now you would see that the bull candles, the candles going up are blue, candles going down are black. So that's a clear indication to show you that when price is going up, when price is going down, quite obvious, right? So you are creating this in order for the market to talk to you. So also same thing when you're doing your analysis, you're basically creating, you're basically drawing all these tools, drawing all these objects on your chart so that your chart can communicate with you, if that makes sense. So moving on, what you want to do now is you want to right click once again, okay? Then move over to template and then say save template. This will then allow you to load this exact same chart on any chart that you will load on your trading platform moving forward. So obviously you're going to save it and wait for your window to pop up to save it. Just give me a sec, waiting for this to pop up. So you would see that file name, you obviously want to save it. So I'll just save it as Pharo. Save. Okay. Now to move on, let's start at the top. Okay. Now that we've had our chart sorted out, I'm sure that you would see that everything looks much better, right? Now let's start from the beginning. On top, you have file. You have the option to create a new chart. Now, we don't usually use the options of open offline, open deleted, profiles, close, save as. We don't usually use these settings unless you want to save a screenshot of your analysis, and then you can obviously save it as a picture. The only time you will, for instance, will need to open your data folder is when you need to install custom indicators, EAs, scripts, robots, whatever the case, whatever you want to install, whatever add-on / plugin you want to install to your platform, this is where you do it. And obviously as well, if you download the platform, you're gonna have to log into your account, and you have the options to do it over here under file. So you have the option to open an account or log into trade account. Now, usually based on your broker, you will download your trading platform from your broker's website, and then you would then just say log into trade account, and then put in your login details and select the server, and then you'll be logged in. So we don't usually use login to WebTrader. All of this over here. So basically, the most important things under the file folder is basically new chart, save as picture, open data folder, open an account, and log into trade account. Those are the most important ones. Okay, so moving forward, view. Under view, here you have all the languages. Here you can change the languages of your platform. If you're speaking Afrikaans, if you're speaking Portuguese, if you're speaking Korean, Japanese, whatever the case, right? So this is where you change the languages. Then you have your toolbar. Now, usually all of these will be ticked, but you can customize it. I would not recommend customizing it if you're a beginner. Get used to it, get used to the platform at first. Personally, I've been using this platform for about way more than 3 years now, and I've never customized. I've always kept it as default because I have everything I need right here. Okay, so then same thing under view, you have status bar that is checked, charts bar that is checked. So also under view, we don't really use anything, but if need be and you can't find anything, You know, like I said, there will be other things I'll be showing you, like your market watch, your navigator, your data window, your terminal. These are also ways you can get to it. That also shows you shortcuts you can click on your keyboard to pull them up instantly. You know, which is much easier than dragging your mouse all the way there. Then under insert, this is where the interesting things happen with trading. This is where we add our indicators. For instance, you will see that there's a lot of names here under trend. This is where you would usually have your moving averages and so forth. Under oscillators, this is where you would have your MACD volume. This is where you would have your balance, your volumes, your accumulation distribution levels. Bill Williams is usually where you get your alligator, and then custom is usually the things that we install ourselves. For instance, as you can see, I have the Algo Smart Money free indicator. I also have a Millionaire Mindset Matrix indicator from my mentor. So these are things that I've custom installed. Like I said, as you can see, it goes under custom. But as time goes on as well, for instance, the more you trade and you wanna add different things to your platform. And also, guys, if you guys need to install anything to your platform and so forth, don't hesitate to message me. I don't mind helping you guys. This is why I do what I do. So then moving on, under lines, this is where we get our drawing tools. For instance, this is where you get your vertical line. This is where you get your horizontal line. This is also where you get your trend lines, and as well as your trend line by angle. But we don't really use that. We usually just stick to these three. And also, okay, I'm going to leave this, but you would see that if you double click on your object and you right click, then you would see properties pop up for that object. For instance, you would whatever object you are drawing. For instance, if you're drawing a trend line and you want to change its parameters, you right click on it, you go to trend line properties, and then you would have a window pop up. Now under here, you would have, this is where you have the option to basically customize your trend line. You can change the color. For instance, you can make it blue, black, whatever the case. You can make it black. You would see next to it is the option to have a solid line, to have a broken line, to have like a dotted line, whatever you want to call that. And then also you can also make it thicker. You can also make your lines thicker. Right, as you can see over there, it would look different, but I stick to the nice little thin lines because it keeps the charts nice and clean. And same thing for the vertical lines. That's how you can do it. And also, obviously, if you want to delete it, you can right click on it and then delete it, and then also you can also delete all selected. Now also be mindful, guys, if you're doing something like this, right, and you would see that this is obviously, like, for instance, look, like if you are doing analysis, please be careful from, if you want to delete something, right click and delete it, because if you click your delete button, that's going to happen. Everything you just drawn would disappear. So please when you get into the habit of doing it from the beginning. Okay, so moving forward from insert, this is also where we have channels. For instance, this is where we find our Fibonacci. This is the most common one that we use. This is the Fibonacci channel, sorry. And then, yeah, we don't really use these over here, but according to a strategy, you can experiment as a new trader or whatever the case. Here you have your GAN. You have your GAN line, your GAN fan, your GAN grid. This is where you have your Fibonacci retracement. This is one of the things I use very often. A Fibonacci retracement and vertical lines, horizontal lines, and trend lines. And you also have your shapes, which is the rectangle, which is also a very commonly used thing by traders. You also have triangles and eclipses. Then you also have arrows. You can have a thumbs up, thumbs down. You guys can obviously see that. And there's picture forward, and there's a few other things which you can also insert. Now, when you click on chart, this is basically the same settings that you would have if you right click on your chart. The only difference is the depth of market appears here, and on the chart it doesn't pop up over here. But it's basically the same thing, So under tools, this is where you find your settings and the options. For instance, also another important thing, if you are installing add-on to your platforms, you always have to make sure that you open your options, come to expert advisors, and click on allow automated trading and allow DLL imports. That's very important. Otherwise, the indicators you install won't work. So under tools, that's basically the most important thing. And then under window, this is where you basically have, you can open a new window, for instance. It would, like this would pop up. So you can either click on what pair you want to open. Let's say you want to open Euro USD, and this would happen. So going back to the thing we discussed in the beginning of the video, if you right click, right, come to template. Remember the template we saved earlier as Pharo? If you click on Pharo, it would look the same right now. You see, so that is very cool, and then it basically allows you to reload your specific needs according to your chart, if that makes sense. And then under Yelp, you know, you can go through the Yelp topics if you're really struggling, you know, but other than that, you can just message, you know, me, and I'll help you with anything, any questions you have. And then moving forward to the next bar where we were earlier. In the first one, you would see that if you click on this, the same thing appeared, which is under window, which is a new window. So this is where you can open a new chart. Let's say and open NZD USD. Same thing, you would just right click and then load the template and then Pharo, right? Very simple. And then if you click on the next one, you would see that there is different profiles for the charts as well, or something like that. I don't know what this is. I don't use that. So the next thing you would then see is so that's Asia Market Watch. This is where all your charts are stored, or your watch list, basically your quotes. Now, let's say you want to load a different chart onto this, right? Instead of like opening a new window every time as well, what you can just do is, let's say when I open the USD versus the Rand, you can just click on it and drag it onto the chart, and a new chart will open according to the USD Rand. And that is also a very, very cool way of opening charts quickly. Just bear in mind, if you draw analysis on this chart and you draw another chart on it, that your analysis will disappear. Another thing also, if you close that and you can't, and you maybe forget that this is the button to open it, like I said, remember under, let me just double check where it was. Oh, yes. So you see under view, you would say at Market Watch, that's the symbol. You could also just Control M on your keyboard, and it would also pop up.